This is Gun Control by Colson Procoff. Since the Columbine shooting in April of 1999, more than 323,000 students have experienced some sort of gun violence while attending school, according to the Washington Post. And according to the Gun Violence Archive, more than 609 mass shootings have occurred in 2022 alone. Why is it that over 600 mass shootings have occurred in the United States, but the average United States citizen usually only hears about 10 or 15? And this is because United States citizens have become so used to hearing about mass shootings that it really doesn't faze them anymore. But is this right? It really isn't. Mass shootings should be so rare that it should affect whoever hears about them. So why is it that mass shootings occur so often in the United States? Some often answers are the lack of mental health resources for those who need to seek mental health help, and they turn to finding a gun and shooting. Another claim, especially by the CEO of the NRA, Robert Lockyer Jr., is violence in movies, TV shows, and video games that younger generations have been exposed to that really encourage them into doing things such as committing mass murder. Or is it gun accessibility and how easy it is to obtain a gun in the United States? One thing you can look at is the gun ban in Australia. In the late 90s, there was a mass shooting in Tasmania, I apologize, where 35 people were killed. And after that, Australia's government implemented a gun buyback where they banned the use of all assault weapons and bought them back and destroyed the weapons. And after that, gun violence diminished immediately after. So what if the US practiced similar laws? Not necessarily a total gun ban, but regulations on guns, maybe a ban on assault rifles like Australia did. Would it help mass shootings in the United States? So what a lot of people use to defend gun rights in the United States is the Second Amendment. And the Second Amendment says, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. People use this to say that American citizens have the right to any sort of gun that is available on the market, or that they don't need a permit or classes or anything like that to carry a firearm around with them at all times, for the Second Amendment says so, which is in the United States Constitution. But I disagree with this. I believe that there can be forms of gun control, there can be forms of permits and trainings and classes that should be allowed, that should definitely be allowed, that could definitely help diminish our mass shooting problem without really infringing the Second Amendment, as it wouldn't really break any of these rules set. One example of the no permit problem and that anybody can own a gun is the Uvalde shooting on May 24th, 2022. The shooter, who is an 18-year-old, legally obtained his assault rifle just a day after his 18th birthday on May 17th, 2022. And in the state of Texas, you can open carry an assault weapon in public without any sort of permit whatsoever. But a week later, after he bought this gun, he would go to an elementary school and open fire, killing 21 students and faculty. Could it be that this 18-year-old, in a fit of rage and mental distress, believed that he wanted to go and commit mass murder in elementary school, and that he really didn't have much time to think about it? He obtained his assault rifle immediately, and just days later, when he was able to, he went and opened fire on an elementary school. With, if there was a waiting period after he bought the gun, he wouldn't have been able to do this so quickly. Or if there was some mental health background check, or even an age requirement that was higher than 18, he wouldn't have been able to do this. Thus, this shooting could have most likely been prevented. So what do I believe is the solution for mass shootings? I believe a form of gun control is the solution. I believe that there should be a permit that is obtainable after safety and handling classes. I believe that all citizens should be required to take a safety and handling class. I also believe in a background check on all individuals who wish to own a gun. If someone with a previous violent criminal record wishes to own a gun, and that is seen, they should not be able to own a gun. I also believe in a ban on assault rifles and other military-grade weapons. Like I said earlier, assault rifles really are only made for killing, mass killing, and that's why they were called military grade, or that's what they're used for. And they're really not necessary for the average U.S. citizen. I also believe in a public register on all citizens who own guns and what guns they own. More as a safety precaution, every citizen's address is on public domain on the internet, and why can't what guns they own be the same way? If someone believes that someone is in distress and they want to know what guns they own, just as a safety precaution, they should be able to do that. Overall, these types of gun control would not infringe United States citizens' Second Amendment rights and are put in place to keep people safe and decrease the large amounts of mass shootings that occur in the United States. I did an audience survey, and I asked if the Second Amendment is still applicable today, and half said yes and half said it needed tweaks. I agree with the half that said yes. I do believe that the Second Amendment is still applicable, but I do also believe that these laws should be put in place, the gun control laws, and it still wouldn't affect or infringe any Second Amendment rights. I also asked if people believe that permits were necessary to own a gun, and almost everybody that answered my survey said yes. And then I also asked if any sort of gun control would be necessary, and that they believe that gun control would be effective in diminishing mass shootings in the United States, and the majority said yes. Someone asked me in questions that if I believed that a gun ban is really necessary. They disagreed with me in the audience survey. And I said yes. I believe that people have a right to own a pistol, like a handgun, for their own personal safety, meant to basically defend. They don't necessarily need an assault rifle, as multiple rounds would basically obliterate something that they're trying to defend themselves on. Another person asked about if I believed that those who are really wanting to commit a mass shooting would just find a way to find a gun anyways. And I believe, yes, they may want to, but it would also still make mass shootings rare and more and make it more based off of really, really messed up people as opposed as people facing mental episodes. If a gun ban were to be implemented, that would mean that assault rifles would really only be in the hands of police or military fortresses, and that they would somehow have to obtain one through that, which would take lots and lots of effort. All right, thank you.